What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Spencer, and welcome back to Advice, the show without a name. The first semester of college is maybe the worst thing imaginable, because you're trying to balance everything new being thrown at you. And you're probably realizing quickly that what they told you at the end of high school, or move-in day, or orientation, is nothing like what you're actually experiencing. That's because there's this weird stigma around college, where everyone just kind of agrees to lie to your face, and then you continue on that lie to the next generation, which is a very weird piece of society. But it's also kind of interesting to look at all of the creative ways we teach younger kids to fear college. I feel like the biggest one would be that you're tunnel visioned on whatever you set out at the beginning. High school stresses that you pick a lane and stick with it the entire way. But when you get there, you may find that you hate it. You might be like every single bio major. In their freshman year, they ask, why can't I just take bio classes? And then you just become disillusioned with the entire major. And some stick to it. I'm not telling you to give up just because the going gets tough. But I'm telling you that you're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to change your mind pretty late into the game. All the way up until the end of that second year, you're allowed to shift gears. You can after, but I would never recommend it. And I don't think that's stressed enough. The school doesn't really care what you take as long as they get their money. So make sure you're comfortable learning what you really want to do in the future. Because a useless degree, I think, is just a waste of time except another notch on a resume. The second would be that you're going to live all 4 years the same. I feel like that first year everyone just kind of wanted to go out and party, and I don't really blame them. You're free of your parents' supervision, and you really just want to express yourself. But as you go on, you are developing, you're growing, and you're going to end up becoming more responsible. These classes may not seem important to you, but you do have to take on that responsibility. That, hey, I'm going to actually have to do this. You start treating it more like a job and preparing for the future, because that's just right around the corner. Now, obviously, we all have room for parties in us, but when the chips are down, we're able to really focus up and hone that responsibility that we might have just blown off or maybe forgotten about just 1 or 2 years ago. Because we're about to be adults, and this is the only thing standing in our way through running through that wall. And that's alleviated by the reduced workload. In high school, you were assigned homework every day. That stupid do pages 67 through 68, all odd, while learning the cosine of a triangle, which I don't think I've ever used outside of geometry. And maybe most of that stuff is helpful for you in high school tests. I'm not here saying you shouldn't do your homework, because that's the thing most colleges look at, because SATs are now being thrown out the window. However, most college courses don't give you homework. They may give you supplemental readings that could help you with the class assignments, but they're not necessary. Almost every class I've taken is a PowerPoint class or a lecture. A professor is standing up there talking for 50 minutes, and then when they're done, they just repeat the same thing to the next class. Professors are more worried about getting through their material than actually making sure you understand it. When in high school, I feel like their job is for you to get it. And that's what the homework is. College professors expect you to be responsible enough to pay attention in class. Maybe do a reading or two and just follow along, because really the only thing that matters to them is that midterm, is that final grade, and maybe a paper. They could care less about a Wednesday afternoon class in the middle of April that you understood the assignment. And that's not to say professors don't care about you. You just have to initiate interest, because they do love what they're talking about. They do choose to sign up for those classes. They're not just handed to them by the dean. They've been doing this for a long time. So if you go and just talk to them about it, they may even give you some answers. And they feel more real than high school teachers because they have more freedom to express themselves. College is not the scary place it may seem to you when you get here on your first week. You're going to get settled in pretty quickly because you're going to do the stuff you want to do. You may hate the food, you may hate your roommate, you may even hate every single person on campus. But there's still a place for you in that community. What role that is, I can't tell you because you got to go seek it out for yourself. Some things about college they tell you are correct. But like most things on life, it's a lot of secondhand knowledge. Specific experiences that don't reflect the majority of everybody. Everything in college is subjective. So go in with a blank slate. And instead of looking at the myth of college, try to create your own legend. So that's where I'm going to call for today. What is the most unbelievable thing they told you about college? Did you believe it in the moment? And how wrong were they? If you feel like I missed anything, please put it below. I would love to talk about it with you. And if you want your questions answered, please email me at koboldtextadvice@gmail.com for a nameless read. Thank you so much for watching. Don't believe everything they tell you, and I'll see you next time.